What's up, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. I see that some of you are already in here. Oh, you have to go to church, man? That's all good. Welcome, everyone. Please say hello in the comments and let me know where you are watching this from, what country, wherever you're located right now. I'm just going to bring up the comment section on my computer here so I can actually see what you're saying here. Okay, guys. Yeah, say hello in the chat. Let me know where you're watching from. We got a few people in the USA. Liverpool is the best. You're absolutely right. They're the best. You'll never walk alone, man. We got Oman, America. We got Brandon from America. We got Juan from Malaysia. Michael from the United States. We got Qatar, Oman, Pennsylvania. That's where I am. What's up, man? Sweden from the UK. Portugal. India, Nairobi, Sweden, England, Ohio, India, Canada. I love it, guys. We got people all over the place, which is always so cool to me. We got Minnesota, Pakistan, Austria, Norway, Ireland. They're going. I would say your names, but they're going by so quickly that I can't keep up. Ireland, Georgia, Guatemala. That's a new. I haven't seen that one before. Guatemala. I apologize if you've been in here before and haven't said anything. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the live stream. For those of you who have been to these before, you know how they work. I have some questions that you guys asked me beforehand that we're going to answer, and then we're going to answer your questions in the comments as well. We'll jump back and forth between them. What's up, Rishi? Good to see you too. So I'm excited to answer your questions, guys. Argentina, Germany, Turkey, Singapore. I mean, this is just awesome. There's so many people from so many different places. Belgium, we got all of Europe. My favorite team is Liverpool, Aaron. I'm a Liverpool supporter. Nepal. Oh, this is so cool. All right, guys. What's up, Hunter? There you go. All right, I'm going to get right into your questions right away, guys. You know, you can start asking me in there. Mo Salah, he's the man. You can start asking me them in there as well, but I'm going to get into some of the questions you guys asked me beforehand just because we want to get this moving along. I don't know if you guys are watching the FA Cup. I don't know actually what time. I think Spurs are playing today. I might get hopefully get into that game a little bit. So welcome all of you who are just joining us now. My favorite player was Steven Gerrard. Now it's, who's my favorite player? Probably Roberto Firmino, or I wouldn't say Mo Salah because he's just been at the club for a season, but I love Firmino. He's like the perfect type of player for me. He's such a hard worker. His technique is incredible, and you know, he's now adding goals to his game. Before that, it was Steven Gerrard, obviously, before he retired. I also really like Adam Lallana before he decided to strangle Tottenham players. But I'm still pretty, I like him still. So, all right, and we will get to that question, the best way to train. But I want to first cover one from Kevin T, who asked me this on the community tab on YouTube, and he asks how to dribble quickly at full speed. So we're going to cover this real quick, and then we'll get to a question in the comments, and then we'll move back. We'll go back and forth so that we're giving you enough time there in the comments for your questions that you're spontaneously asking. So just real quick, Kevin Key, to dribble quickly at full speed, obviously like anything else, takes a lot of practice. What I would recommend you do, and Salah is not a one-season wonder. Get out of here. What I recommend you do, I have a video which just goes over how to dribble faster. It's a step-by-step video. It's like 3 minutes long. If you literally follow the steps in that video and you continue to practice those things almost every day, you'll start dribbling at full speed. Like it's not something you just wake up and you can dribble while running as fast as you can. It doesn't work that way. You have to work your way up. So you have to kind of like try to go as fast as you can while maintaining control first. And then the next day you do the same, and you just do your best every single day. And eventually it kind of goes like this, where eventually you're dribbling at full speed. You're sprinting practically. You're like Kaká. You're flying like the wind, running past people. So I'll show that. All right, guys, so let's get a question from you guys in there. So really, when it comes to a lot of the questions that have to do with training, it really comes down to consistency and being able to, you know, do it every single day and be progressive. You got to be progressive with your training incrementally. So, you know, if you're doing the same thing always at the same intensity, you won't get any better. You'll kind of plateau. But if you make it a little more difficult every single day or every week or whatever marker you want to use, you'll get a lot better. So let's see what questions you guys are asking in the comments. LFC for life, how can I improve my shooting power? I have a perfect video for you, man. If you go on my channel after the stream, the main video on there is how to, power shot. It's called Power Shot Technique. Watch that video. It's going to show you exactly how to strike a ball cleanly with power. You can even start knuckling it with that technique. But that's the best video I have that's going to actually show you exactly what to do. So I would definitely recommend that video. It's got like 500,000 views, so it's like one of the first videos on the channel, so you can't miss it. Oh, I like this one. Hold on. Okay, so here's a good question, and it kind of ties into one we're going to be asking later. But Marcin asks, would you rather train much less but on a really high intensity, or more but less intensity? That's a really good question. Okay, so what he's asking is it basically better to train basically really intensely for like 30 minutes or to train less intensely for an hour and a half? And so so I would say in general, I would go for the much more intense training for the shorter amount of time over the more intense training over a longer period of time, except what I am going to say, it varies. Like, you need both. Like, you're not going to be training intensely every day. If every single day you went out for 30 minutes to an hour and trained as hard as you could, your body would break down, you would injure yourself. It's not what you want. Like, even professionals don't train intensely every single day. You know, they have tactical sessions, they have recovery sessions, they have speed training, things like this. They have gym sessions. Not every single training session is 100 miles per hour. You know, we got to go as fast as we can. We got to grind ourselves into the ground. It doesn't work that way. So what I will say is I'm always a fan of a workout that is basically by the end of it, you can't give any more. And you don't need an hour and a half to 2 hours to do that. You know, you can do like steady rate cardio, which is like jogging, for as long as you want, but it's not going to actually get you more fit. But then you can do like interval training, which is much more intense. It's sprints and jogs and walking back to sprints. That is going to get you fit, but you can do that in 30 to 45 minutes. So I'm a big fan when it comes to workouts that really get you results. I think high intensity interval training is great. I think that, you know, workouts that, you know, where you're doing the best that you can in the moment, you're giving 100%. Thank you, LSC for life. When you're giving 100% in the moment, which is more intense, you know, if you're giving 100% in the moment, you're going as fast as you can, then you do that, and I think that's more beneficial. And we're going to get into that in a little bit because someone asked me a similar question. How to not over... No, that's not it. But someone asked me a training question, so we will get into that more. So I'm going to answer another question from here, from Michael, which is, okay, here's another training question for you guys. Should you train by position, or should you train to be more versatile? And this is a great... Billy D, go on my channel and search ball control. I got a ton of ball control routines for you. But this is a great question. So should you train specifically for your position, or should you train to be more versatile? Meaning, should you train everything? And the answer is both. Now, there's a certain stage where you need to be training everything. When you're younger, you need to be developing the fundamentals of everything. So that's the passing, that's the ball control, that's the dribbling, that's things of that nature. You need to develop that, because as you move up levels and you get older, if you have not developed those skills, you're going to struggle. I mean, imagine if you're like 15, 16, 17 and you never worked on your passing that much as a kid. Imagine how much that's going to affect you as you get older. Same with your dribbling, same with your first touch and ball control. So in that regard, you need to train all of the fundamental areas. Now, when you get more specific, like when you're, I would say 18 or older, at not the latest, but 18 or older, that's when I really think, when you know what position you're going to be playing moving forward, I think you really need to start dedicating your training a lot to your position. Just more. That doesn't mean neglect the other areas. You want to be good at everything, but you want to be great at certain things, because the fact of the matter is you can't really be great at everything. Like, you're not going to be great, for example, at finishing and also tackling. I mean, you could be, but you would have to focus so much of your time on those things. So you want to balance where you are versatile, where if someone your coach wanted to play you in a different position, you're able to do it. That's good. But if you look at pros, imagine sticking Bobby Firmino at right back. It wouldn't work out that well. Imagine sticking a right back at striker. It wouldn't work out that well, because they can't train both of those areas, if that makes sense. So the higher level you go up, the more you do want to solidify your position, or at least a few positions. For example, you want to know by that point if you're an attacking player or more defensive player. I would say a bare minimum. But when you're younger, like when you're 10 years old, for example, you don't need to know what your position is yet, right? You want to be training everything, because by the time you get older, if you don't have those fundamentals really mastered, you're just going to struggle whatever position you try and go into in the future. So for me, you know, if you guys are like 10, 11, 12, don't worry too much on specific like position. You know, you may grow into a certain position. There are a lot of players who start at one position and then, you know, years later are playing a different one because they're more suited for that position or whatever. But the older you get and the more you go along, like for me, I played striker in college. I also played midfield a bit, but I played striker. And the reason I played striker is because I scored goals. And my coach would have me work on very striker-specific things to make me a better striker, because I wasn't playing winger. I wasn't playing center defensive mid. So it didn't make sense for me to focus on things in those positions. It made sense for me to work on my movement. It made sense for me to work on my finishing. And of course, during team practice, I still worked on other things. But again, once you get older, you know, the more you can work on things that help you stand out in your position, the better, right? Like, it would be a waste of my time as a striker in college to work on my defending to a certain extent, you know, or my tackling over my movement. There's a thing, I'll leave you with one more thing. There's a thing called opportunity cost. And what that means is when you're doing one thing, it automatically means you're missing out on something else. So what you have to make sure is the thing you're doing is going to get you more results than the thing you're missing out on. So for me, finishing gives me more results in my position than working on, say, defending. So I choose the finishing to focus on, okay? All right, let's get a question from you guys in the comments real quick. What's up, Game Bros? Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's see here. Aaron asks how to train for a box-to-box fullback. So I'm assuming you mean like a Virgil van Dijk, Mats Hummels type player that can take the ball forward. I'd say the first thing is watch a lot of those guys play. So watch Matt Hummels, watch Vincent Kompany when he's fit and not injured all the time. Watch Virgil van Dijk. I would say, you know, you gotta become aware of what these guys are doing. I have a Virgil van Dijk analysis video on how to play out of the back. I think it's a skill every center back should look to develop, and it definitely adds another dimension to a center back's game. But first is learn as much about it as you can, and then in practice, start doing it. Start doing it in your training. Don't start doing it in matches right away until you're comfortable doing it in training. But you start doing that in training, you start taking the ball out of the back. And another thing with that is you just have to remember it's a lot of decision making. Like, you're not coming out of the back every single time. You watch Vincent Kompany, for example. He doesn't always dribble out of the back. He doesn't always try the long ball. He plays it, you know, so that his team retains possession. But when he sees an opening, he takes it, right? When he weighs the options and goes, it's worth the risk, he takes it. Okay, so watch a lot of those players and start seeing what they're doing and why they're doing it, and it'll start basically showing you what you need to be doing as well. But definitely start with that Virgil van Dijk analysis on the channel. It's in a playlist called Player Analysis something. So it's on the main page. It should be there, okay? That will be a good place to start. All right, let's get to another question right here from Santiago. It's how to really improve when you train. What's the best way to train? So this is the question on here. Dedicated for life. Ask me that question later. Let me just finish this one up. So how to improve when you train and what the best way to train is. So I kind of covered this a little bit, saying that, you know, there's no like one training method that is the best of the best. If that was the case, every single player would be doing it and getting incredible results. But I can tell you that going into your training with a certain mindset and mentality will help you in your training. For example, we all know, like, you need to go into your training completely focused and giving 100%. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of players don't do that. You know, even in college, when I was playing in college, there were a lot of players that would go through the motions in training. If you're going through the motions in training, you are literally training yourself to go through the motions in matches as well. You know, you need to, as often as you can, give 100% and be completely focused. If your mind is elsewhere when you're training, you're not going to be getting as much out of it as you can. So no matter what your training is, and there is training that's better than other training. You know, there just is. Like, there's so, again, opportunity cost, which is going to give you the most results. But whatever you're doing, you need to be 100% focused on what you're doing. So you can't be thinking about something else. Be in the moment. Give it 100%. Do your best. If you're tired, if you're energetic, it doesn't matter. Do your best that you can give in the moment, in team training and individual training. You know, really focus. Because if you go in half-ass, if you go in 70%, you're going to get used to practicing at 70%. And that's going to basically filter over into your matches. So honestly, that's the best way to train. Now for me, if you're talking about specific drills, I like to focus on the fundamentals as much as possible, even when you get to the higher level. My college coach once told our team after the season we had the best. Exactly, you play the way you train. That's a great point, Michael. You absolutely play the way. That's not something your coach told you just to be clever, like, guys, you play the way you train, or to sound smart. He was right, or she was right, whatever. You know, it's, you play the way you train. If you train 100%, give your best, give your all, completely focused, you will do that in matches. If you half-ass your training, you're only giving 70%, you're kind of like giving up in training, you're going through the motions, you'll start going through the motions in matches. So just keep that in mind because it's very, very important. Specific drills, I would say you can never go wrong with the fundamentals, but again, you want specific deliberate training for your position as well. So fundamentals are things like ball control, and what I was saying, am I a virgin? I'll let you answer that on your own, buddy. But what I am saying is my college coach at the end of the year, at the end of our season, which was the best season the school ever had, we made it to the finals of our playoffs, we made it to, I think, the regional tournament, all that stuff. He said, I want you to take a notice about the players who did well on the team and the players that struggled. The players that did well on the team had great ball control. The players that did not do well on the team had average ball control. This was from a college coach. Our college coach played professionally. He was a very good player. He still was when I was there. He knew what he was talking about, and he singled out ball control as one of the most deciding factors to the players that did well and did not do well that year. So take that as you will. I took that very seriously because when he said that and picked out that one skill area out of anything else he could have said, at the end of the year and the conclusion to the season, he singled out ball control. So I think that says a lot. So I think if you really want to improve, it's about those fundamentals. And there's a reason I always wax lyrical about ball control. Okay. So Game Bros XP asks, what are the pros and cons of slowing down and really getting down the technique type of training? Well, I would say there are only pros. You know, if you start training and you're trying to do things quickly and you're not developing the correct technique, again, you're going to start playing with the incorrect technique. For example, if you start shooting and you're using the improper technique, you're going to start becoming good at the wrong technique. Whatever you repetitively do is what you're going to get used to and what you're going to get good at. So that means, for example, if you do the wrong technique for a certain skill move, you're going to learn how to do it incorrectly and it's not going to work. But you're going to get used to it and then you have to unlearn it, which is a hard thing to do. So that's why at first, like in my program, Ultimate Soccer Skills, I tell people, don't worry about speed at first with these moves and these drills. Worry about technique. The speed comes later. I know it's frustrating if you see someone doing cone drills and they're like just zigzagging so fast through them, but that's where they're at. You have to be where you're at. So if you have to go very slowly and work on the technique, that's fine. The next day you go a little bit faster, and then the next week you go faster. And eventually you develop the technique you need and the speed, okay? Technique first though. Do not try and go too fast, okay? How to improve decision making. Don't tell me about watching soccer. Another method, please. Well, okay, that's the problem. You don't want to use the method that works. You know, I can give you an answer that works, but if you completely dismiss the answer, then I can't really help you. One of the best ways to improve your decision making is to see the decision making that the pros make and then to ask yourself why they're making that. Another way is experience. You learn through experience. You know, you want to be completely aware of the moment. You want to make sure. Another good one is, Most of us make poor decisions when we're nervous. So if you're on the pitch and you're nervous and you're freaking out and you think there's a man on your back and you're not sure and you don't know what's going on, that makes you nervous and that leads to poor decisions. But the whole thing you're saying, don't tell me watch more soccer, that's, give me another reason. The reason I say do that is because it's one of the best ways to do it. You want to learn how to be calm under pressure, you want to learn how to improve your decision making, then watch players that have good decision making and watch what they do. That's one of the best methods. Now, you can use these other methods I'm giving you, like experience, but that's just going to come naturally as you play more, and not being nervous. But don't disregard the fact that watching pros play is going to improve you dramatically if you allow it. Okay, so, don't do that. Don't worry, Sarim, no problem. And guys, you can always rewatch these if you need to. Luciano, trading while injured, don't. Just don't. I actually have had a problem with that recently. I'm currently not playing because I'm in physical therapy, because I was playing while injured. So I had to go to physical therapy to find out that, I shouldn't have been doing that at all. Don't train injured. I know you don't want to break your momentum, and I know you don't want to stop being consistent, but just don't. Because what's going to happen is you're going to injure yourself further, or your injury is just going to go unchecked, and it's going to take you longer to get back. And I know it is, that's what you meant. I'm sorry, man. Okay, don't physically train. Yeah, you can absolutely train mentally. I completely misunderstood what you were saying. Yes, one thing I always say is when you are injured, one thing you can do is you can train your IQ. You can train your mentality. For example, you can do the visualization practice all the time if you want. You can work on your confidence. In fact, I'm going to be releasing a free 7-day confidence building course in the next week or two. So yeah, there's a lot you can do. There's always something you can do. Even if you have a really bad injury, there's 2 things you can do, right? You can be upset and play the victim, and you know what? Some people wouldn't blame you for doing it. Or you can make sure you do everything possible that when you do come back from your injury, you're better than you were, right? So you can work on your IQ, you can work on your mentality, you can really work on your mentality, guys. This game is 50% mental. So if you're injured, what an opportunity to work on the mental side of your game, right? So you might as well use that time to work on the mental side, on the confidence that you need to perform, on the, improving your IQ, watching a bunch of games, all that stuff. Okay, so let me get another one from here, and then we'll get to more questions in there. Okay, so here's one. Brown Messi asks how to stay calm under pressure. This is another good one, and there's a few things. One is experience. When you put yourself in more pressure situations, and you don't back away, if that makes sense. So like you put yourself in those situations anyway, even though you're fearful, you start to learn how to deal with it. Like for me, when I play in a match, I don't really get nervous. Like about a year ago, I played in one of the leagues I played in. We played the final of a tournament in the Philadelphia Union Stadium, and that may seem daunting to a lot of people, but I wasn't too nervous simply because I'd been in situations like that before, if that makes sense. The more situations you're in which could be nerve-wracking, the better. Did something just happen? Okay, no, never. There we go. So I would say one thing is experience. That definitely helps with your nervousness, but you can actively build your confidence. Visualization is proven, absolutely proven. Ekman? Thanks, buddy. Johnny. I would mention one of our other characters, but it's probably not appropriate for the stream. Anyway, what was I saying? That totally threw me off there. Yeah, the more experience you have in these situations, the better, but also use visualization. If you guys don't know about visualization before matches or in general, it is scientifically proven to help improve your confidence and even your ability too. It's unbelievably magical if you commit to it. So that's how I think staying calm is really good. All right, so let's get another question out here. Sir, how to make money when you're trying to be pro and don't have time to work in a job? I need money to pay my team fee and go to trial. There's a lot of creative ways you can make money, man. I'm not like a money-making expert by any means, but if you look online, start searching, a good person to watch is Gary Vaynerchuk. If you just type in Gary V to YouTube, he has 1,000,001 different like hustle money making methods you can do. Like he's a big fan of like reselling, like garage sale stuff and all this other stuff. But he's a hyper hustle entrepreneur type guy, and I would say if you watch his content, you're definitely going to get some ideas of ways you can do that. You know, just keep looking for the solutions instead of the problems, I would say, as well, and you'll come up with a bunch of ideas, and then when you find an idea that sticks, just run with it. I know it may seem, if you're not doing anything now, that it's hard to do, but if you stick with it, you'll be able to actually you'll be surprised by what you can actually do online, for example, in this day and age. So keep asking me some questions. I'm going to take a drink of green juice right here. How to get rid of leg cramps. Actually, good question. I used to get them all the time. I still do. There's a few things. I think they don't know exactly what gives leg cramps, but usually it's either a lack of electrolytes, it's poor diet, which kind of plays into lack of electrolytes, it's lack of fitness. So I would say one thing is first look at, are you not fit? If you're not fit and you're cramping up, yeah, and a buildup of lactic acid, but you know, the more fit you become, the more lactic acid buildup resistance you become. So when you run and your legs get really tired, that's a buildup of lactic acid. And the way you get used to that is you continue to train. And the more you train, the more your tolerance to lactic acid buildup increases. So one reason might be your fitness. If you're cramping up and it's because you also notice you're really tired at the same time and your legs are heavy, that's fitness. If it's not that, it might be diet. Another thing is you might not be getting enough salt. Now that might be an interesting one, but this is one I learned because I used to get muscle cramps all the time and it wasn't because of fitness. So I wondered what it was, and I didn't think it was because of diet. And then I started making sure I got more salt in my diet. And there's actually a misconception that people think if you eat salty things, and I mean like proper salt, like sea salt, that if you do that, that it actually dries your body up or something, right? That's not true. You need that. Salt is an electrolyte your body needs and actually helps prevent cramp, okay? Too much salt is not good, but you need to make sure you have some going in your system. So it's very, very important electrolyte, and if you're deficient in it, there is a much bigger chance you will cramp up, okay? So try that out, you know, take like a little pinch of salt, sea salt, before your match or something. Just let it melt on your tongue, and because I believe that gets it into your bloodstream a little faster. I'm not sure, but I believe it does. But it's supposed to really help you with cramps, okay? So see if that works. But again, it's not a long-term solution. That's just kind of like a quick hack. Your fitness overall and the way you eat is the long-term solution, okay? All right, let's see what else we got. There's no correct age to join an academy. I mean, I don't think there's any, you know, I don't think there's like a certain age. And again, academies in America are different than Europe. In Europe, they start taking people as young as like 7, even younger sometimes. So I don't think there's like a set age. Anyway, let's get to another question in here. I got Quattro.Amir, how to not overcomplicate things in training. All right, good question. Oh no, how to not overcomplicate things in matches. That's an even better question. Okay. Again, I think overcomplicating things comes down to people being nervous. I know whenever I've been in a match and I've tried to overcomplicate things, or my decision making has been poor, or I delay on the ball, it always comes down to nervousness. You will not overcomplicate things if you're confident. Now, you might. You know, if you train in a way that overcomplicates things, then sure, you might. But again, that's going to come down to experience. So, you know, a lot of these answers are going to be similar because they cover similar things. But when it comes to overcomplicating things, is really work on your confidence and not being nervous, and make sure you're calm in those situations. Because when you get nervous, you start doing things that don't make sense, and you might look back and go, why the hell did I do that? It's because you were nervous, you panicked. So if you can work on becoming more calm, and I do have a video that goes over this. If you, what's the video name? If you look up how to relax and stay calm under pressure on my channel, I believe that's the video, but that definitely should help you in that regard. Okay, Son Goku, Awesome. We got Son Goku in the house. How to curve the ball while running. I can't explain that. I have to show you. I have a video called Curve Shot Tutorial. If you go watch that, that'll show you. There's also a lot of, I'm answering it right now, Son Goku. There's also a lot of tutorials on YouTube that'll show you to do that, but I can't explain the technique. That's not a thing I can really explain. Just like if I want to explain how to shoot a ball with power, I would refer my video, the power shot tutorial or technique video, because it's going to show you how to do it. It's actually going to show you where on your foot, your body position, all that stuff, okay? Dedicated for Life asks how to deal with them haters. All right, let me, coffee's cold. Oh, we've been going for 30 minutes, no wonder. How to deal with haters. Okay, so this is a good question as well. I'm actually building a course right now called the 7-Day Confidence Building Course. I'm going to put it in Ultimate Soccer Skills, but I'm actually going to make it free for other people. But if you're in Ultimate Soccer Skills, you'll get it as well. And this is one of the topics we cover, how to deal with haters. And one of the, dab on them is one solution, Martin. That is definitely one solution, is dab on them haters. But I think a better solution is, one is you got to keep your vision in mind. A lot of times we succumb to people making fun of us or doubting us or hating on us. And yeah, it does mean you're on the right path. If you're getting haters, it's usually because you're putting yourself out there and you're going after something. But one of the best ways I found is if you have a clear vision, a clear goal, objective that you're passionate about, that kind of hate spewed at you, that doubt thrown in your direction kind of brushes right off you. And the reason for this is because usually when someone hates on us, the reason we take it personally is because in a little way we believe what they say. So if someone's like, oh, you're terrible, you suck, you take it personally. And when you have like a bigger vision, something that's more important to you, you kind of receive that hate and you go, this is not worth my time. It kind of, hey, what's up, Lily? Oh, my coach is here. That's really cool. Hey, Lily. When that kind of happens, it kind of brushes right off you. So if you're really passionate, you have a vision, and you're really just, you keep that in mind, it really is a lot easier to kind of wade through that kind of stuff and completely ignore it. And that's how I usually deal with it. I kind of stay true to my vision, to what I'm trying to accomplish, and I really say everything else, you know, anybody trying to bring me down or move me away from that path is not really worth my time. Thank you, Lily. Good to see you here. Let's see. I got one more question on here, and then we'll open it up to more questions you guys have in the chat, and then we will end it because we've been going for about 30 minutes right now. So the last question on here is from Teal Lighting, is what's more important, training or mindset? So this was my favorite question that I was asked, is what's more important? So the actual physical training or your mindset? And this one's really cool. So, okay. So the obvious answer is both are incredibly important and you can't have one without the other. If you just develop your mindset and you don't do any of the physical training, you're not going to have the muscle memory, you're not going to develop the instincts, you're not going to develop the skill you need to play. But if you do develop the skill, the instincts, the muscle memory that you need, but then you're incredibly low on confidence, you're not going to be able to express the full potential of the abilities you've developed, right? Here's the thing though. Here's the thing, I don't think it's really possible to develop the mindset without the training as well. And what I mean is, if you develop the correct mindset, that's going to encourage you so much to go out and do the training that you're going to be doing that as well. I mean, you think about it, if you have a very driven mindset, you're very confident, you have a growth mindset, you know, that encourages you to go out and take the action. You know, just by having that mindset, you're going to be going out there. So I wouldn't say one is more important than the other, but I'm a huge fan of having a strong mindset because I really do believe having a very strong, motivated, driven, passionate kind of mindset leads to action. Now, you do have to take the action, but I really think that mindset's super important. You know, I used to always have the skill as a player, but there have been times in my life when I haven't had the confidence and the mindset hasn't been right. And in those moments, in those periods of time when I haven't had that mindset that I've needed to perform well, I've performed very poorly or inconsistently. And when I developed the confidence, then that along with the skill, that along with the training led to some incredible stretches of performance, right? So you need them both. Don't think one's more important than the other, but definitely don't neglect the mindset side. I think that's the one that's usually neglected. I think a lot of players go out there and practice the skills and the cool tricks and you know, all the fundamental stuff. And you will gain confidence through repetition and competence. But don't neglect, you know, developing the confidence. Don't neglect the proper mindsets, because that's really going to drive you to more and more action as well. That's going to help propel you forward, okay? So, all right, that's the last question on here. Let's get some of your questions in the comments there. Your courses, Eshu, your courses tell details. Eshu, if you go into the description down below and say where it says check out SimplySoccer Academy, you click that link, it'll take you to a page where, and then click on Ultimate Soccer Skills, and on that page there will be a video and more information on the course, everything you need to know. And that video on that page as well will also give you some cool little tips as well. So if you want some more information, go check that out. Vissel, how to feel confident with using skill. When it comes to certain skill moves, repetition, repetition, repetition. Oh, there's a perfect video. There's a TED Talk that goes over this and actually relates it to soccer. I can't remember. But if you look up self-confidence, there's, I think, a TEDx talk by a national winning, championship winning college coach who goes over how to develop confidence in your skill. And he talks about repetition and action and consistency, and it's really eye-opening. So I would definitely do that. Dave, come visit India. You know, I actually have a friend who lives in India, and he's asked me to come over quite a bit, so I may actually visit India at one point. I would love to visit India. I'm looking to go to Thailand at some point in the future, so while I'm over there, why not? Okay, let's get some of your questions going more. How to train by... I would give you some advice on goalkeepers, man, but the fact of the matter is I'm not a goalkeeper. Dave, come visit Westchester. All right, man, I'll hop on over right after this. It's a shame it snowed yesterday and we didn't. I wasn't able to come up. Hello from Thailand. Hey, what's up? I might be coming over there at some point. All right, let's see what else we got. Do I play... Are you saying, do you play futsal? I don't know if you play futsal. I play indoor soccer sometimes. I haven't played futsal in a while, though, I have to admit. All right, let's see. Is it better to keep things simple like Messi or be unpredictable like Neymar when taking on a defender? Good question. Well, here's the thing. I don't play futsal that much, Jamie. I used to. I play indoor. Now, about the Messi thing, Messi's not predictable. You know, Messi does keep it simple, but if you really watch what Messi does, the body swerves and everything, that doesn't make him predictable. If he was predictable, he'd be stopped every single time. He is unpredictable. I'm a big fan of keeping it simple like Messi, but Messi, you have to understand, although it looks simple, it really, I mean, it isn't. If it was so simple, everyone would do it. The way Messi operates is he's mastered such simple-looking things to an extent where it really is, it's astounding, really. It's amazing. It's unbelievable. But it really does show you, if you want to say it in terms like that where it's simple, it shows you that you don't need to do complicated moves to beat players. You don't need complex rainbows and flicks and everything. And yes, I think I really like Neymar, but I would take Messi over him any day of the week. And the thing is, he's mastered the simple stuff. You look at stuff like Messi's ball control as well. It's not just Messi's dribbling. Messi has probably the best ball control in the world. He's some of the best finishing in the world. He's the best dribbling with the ball close to his feet, acceleration. Neymar is an incredible player, and he's actually, if you look at him when he was he at Santos? Where was he in Brazil? I think it was Santos. When he was at Santos to him now, he's definitely simplified his game, but I really do think that he needs to simplify it even more. But again, he knows more than me, so I'm not going to really comment on that. Comments about USA Men's Soccer World Cup qualifier. I ranted about that last week. I think there needs to be a lot of change in the American system, so I won't go too much into that anymore. All right, so let's get a couple more questions, and then we're gonna call it a day and do the live stream again next week. So keep them coming. Dedicated for life, again, have that vision, man. That vision has to be powerful. It has to be strong. It has to create an emotional reaction within yourself. You know, that's what's going to help you not give up in those hard moments. Like if you find yourself in a difficult moment where there's an obstacle to overcome and you're just giving up, it might be your vision's not strong enough. It might be that goal, you're not emotionally connected to it enough. You need to be, you know, it's very easy to follow a vision or something that you want to achieve when things are going well. And you look at any like successful person and they'll tell you that. You know, Conor McGregor, I think he was saying something, and I'm sure you guys know who he is, very famous fighter. He was saying something about that because he believes highly in the law of attraction, believing that what he wants will come to fruition. And he was saying, you know, it's really easy to imagine all the good things coming to you when things are going well. It's hard to do it, you know, when you're broke or you're homeless or you're, you know, your prospects in the moment don't look great. But you have to keep, you know, your vision in mind and keep thinking that you're going to get there even in those moments. So you need to make sure you have, exactly, that's the thing. He felt rich even when he technically wasn't. He felt like he was going to be successful even when the rest of the world didn't see it. And that's what you kind of need. You know, you need that vision and that passion about what you're doing to drive you through, okay? All right, so let's get a couple more. Man. Here we go. All right, here's a good question. I saw the word intrinsically, so I'm gonna. All right. Gourmet? I can't pronounce the name. I'm so sorry. So should you be intrinsically motivated or extrinsically motivated to become pro? And how do you maintain it as you go up levels and challenge your obstacles increase? I think it's good to have both, but intrinsically, I think is more powerful. You know, I think if there are things like going on within you that are motivating you to get there, like if you have the vision in mind, obviously there can be like things, external things that motivate you as well. But things like, you know, a lot of people get motivated maybe by money, maybe by, you know, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know because it's not something I can relate to that much. But I would say, you know, having that deep inner motivation, having that drive from within is much more powerful. But honestly, it probably is better to have both. There's nothing wrong, for example, for wanting something external. You know, I just think if it's the only thing motivating you, that it's really transparent and it's not strong enough, right? Because even when it comes to things like, you know, achieving something or something of that nature, you know, once you get there, you know, if you don't have a drive within you or something within you that's driving you, you know, your motivation can fall off. Let's say you accomplish your goal, but it was the goal that was motivating you, and you get there, then what? You know, so like I really am a fan of your motivation coming from a passion, from an intention, from something within. But again, have both. Just make sure you have that one as well. All right. All right, I'm going to do one more really good question, and then we will go from there. Oh, looks like, can you guys still see me? Looks like it froze on my computer. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Okay, let me get one. I'm going to look for one more good question. That's pretty good. Hold on. Okay, so, okay, here's a good one. Here's a soccer-related one. Where'd it go? Where did it go? Okay, here's a good one. We're going to end on this. Someone asked me, is it better to train or play in matches to become better? So basically what I think you're saying is, are you going to grow more as a player through individual training or through playing in matches? So obviously the answer is you need both. But if you're not on a team and you're not getting the in-match experience, you do need that, because there are things in games that you cannot do individually. There are, again, like I was talking about experience, like if you're nervous in matches and you are struggling to remain calm in pressure situations in games, a lot of that's going to come down to a lack of experience. So I would say both are really important. You can't just play in games and not train individually. But if you're only training individually, you do need match experience. I mean, think about it. Why do teams send other players on loan to get first team experience? They're getting some of the best individual and team training at the club, but they still send players on loan to other clubs specifically to play in matches, right? That's how important it is to get game experience, because you can do as much individual training as you want and improve as many areas as you want, but that's not going to improve, for example, your your ability to function in a match, your decision making in matches, your familiarity with certain situations that can only come through playing in matches. So you need the training to develop the skills and the ability, but you definitely need the match experience as well. You know, I mean, there's a reason, again, players go out on loan for professional clubs for first team experience. There's a reason players want first team experience, not just to play, but because you will learn so much from that. Obviously, the fitness is going to come behind the scenes. The skill is going to come from behind the scenes. But there's so many subtle things that are going to happen in matches that you need that experience, okay? So you definitely need to make sure you're playing in matches. All right, guys, so we're going to wrap it up right there. We've already gone for about 45 minutes, it is currently 10:45 a.m. in the U.S. We are going to end it there, guys. I want to say thank you so much for joining me this week on the live stream. So what's going to happen is we're going to be doing this every single week, basically the same time, unless we decide to change it. But once again, thank you. I hope to see you. All right, man, come on over. We'll go grocery shopping. Screw it. Let's do it. We will do this every week on Saturday. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. I'm always blown away by how many people come into these from so many different countries. It is so awesome. We will be doing streams every week, guys. I really like doing this. I love the live stuff. I hope these answers have helped you in some way. And I will talk to you next time, guys. If I can get out of this. Hold on. All right. See you guys.